Well, we're live.
What?
We're live.
Oh.
Oh, well, hello, baby girl. You've had a busy week already, and it's only Tuesday.
I know.
How you been? You look beautiful.
Thank you. You look beautiful. I like your hair.
Oh, well, that's keeping it out of my eyes. We're getting our countertop on Thursday, so I'm painting our bedroom. We're putting floors down. Job is almost finished, just in time for Thanksgiving. So, and tell our threes and fives and tens of viewers what you've been doing. What'd you do last night,
I
Jen?
roasted Scott Libedo, which was very fun.
That
Something
was
I've been waiting to do.
where was it?
It was at the Staten for the Kiwanis Club.
Well, that was smart of them. To how many people did he have roasting him?
I think like eight or nine. There was 250 people there.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, Scott's our friend, and we love him. And yeah. You wanna give us one of the lines from your
No,
roast?
no, 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 no.
No. Well, if Jen can upload it, maybe she could. Maybe we could show it to you in a little bit, everybody. Welcome to Right Stuff. And Jen, it's Tuesday, so guess what?
What?
Time for the right stuff.
Who the hell cares?
That's a liberal.
It's like saying, would you rather have wine or water?
Wine, a half inch means a lot sometimes.
Nobody likes to eat crow. Right.
Now I'm starving.
How much is the economy today? It's that much.
This pumpkin latte sucked, and I want to speak to your manager.
Objection, hearsay. Objection, leading. Objection, hearsay.
Where is that woman when Biden speaks?
Get out of here. His name is pronounced Joni. And that's the end of it. Fabulous.
You love that opening.
It's all me.
Hi, Chris Cuddy. Good to have you with
Hi,
us.
Chris.
Hey, we're going to engage Chris Cuddy as our engineer because God knows we need an engineer around here.
I need a hairdresser. My hair is anyway. Go on.
Your hair is beautiful. So, did you see anything that's been going on in the news?
No, we had a busy weekend actually.
What'd you do?
Got drunk, I think, Friday. It was a Friday or Saturday. I was like, what do we do? Invited my son. And then where did we go Saturday? We weren't supposed to do anything. And we wound up doing everything.
Well,
And then I had a headache Sunday.
Busy weekends are good. We're here with our OG, Lucille Chavone. Hi, gals. Love the headband. Thanks, Lucille. Can't do much with the hair. I'm not doing anything with my hair or my nails until I finish construction because I keep getting paint in my hair. I put my head in a cabinet to put the shelves in, and my hair got caught on the hinge, and a big chunk of it got torn out. It's been an interesting week for us.
Do yourself a favor and don't get your hair cut down there because then you'll look like one of the Golden Girls. So just leave it alone and do it when you get back.
Okay, well, we'll see about that. All right, well, our show today is being heavily shadow banned, as we can see by our viewers. But that doesn't matter. We will do the show for 1 or 1,000 or 1 million. And today it's called WaWa WTF because when you see some of the clips that I have today, you're going to wonder, what is this world coming to? And I've got to tell you that it's blowing my mind every time I go to gather clips of the news of the week. It's getting worse and worse. And I finally figured out why the world is upside down and backwards. I am reading this book called The Psychology of Totalitarianism. It's written by Matthias Desmet, who is a psychologist who lives in Ghent. And he talks about the human psyche and how we have now put ourselves in a situation where we want people to tell us what to do. We basically, the majority of us, the masses, are so overwhelmed with so much that's going on in life that we are just abdicating our individual freedom and liberty, and we are, seeking an authority figure to tell us what to do. It's a great book. I think everybody should read it. It's pretty easy to read, and it'll explain a lot about COVID-19, about how we were able to get to where we are right now. It's a crazy book. I'm also reading Tim Scott's book. Great book as well. So two good books for our viewers to read. But anyway, we start with our Fauci Award, and our Fauci Award goes to a repeat winner. Guess who?
Who?
Well, Karine Jean-Pierre. Oh, look who's with us. Mom is with us. Yeah.
Her birthday's in a couple days.
Yes, it is. 81 years young she's going to be. So Karine Jean-Pierre is trying to, oh my gosh, it's Elizabeth Malika. I haven't seen you in forever. Hi, old friend. Yes, it's a great book. Perhaps if we want someone to tell is what to do, let's look to God. That's a great idea, Elizabeth. Google Acapello. Okay, yes. Well, I'm going to let you Google that, Peter, because I'm going to keep on getting on with the show. Our award goes to Karine Jean-Pierre, who is trying to answer questions about what Joe Biden is actually doing for the economy. Before I show it to you, let's see what this comment is. Okay. Don't worry about the typos here. If this is your first time on with this show,
Yes.
Elizabeth, you know that we can't even speak English, so typos don't matter. All right, here's our Fauci Award winner.
The Fauci Award for Gullible People.
Following up on something you said earlier, if President Biden's top domestic priority is inflation, why doesn't he have more to show for it?
So the president understands, and we've talked about this many times, that inflation is an issue, high cost. Cost is an issue for the American people. And so he's been very clear about making that his number one economic priority. And he has done the work.
Who exactly thinks the president is doing a good job on inflation? Because we've got a new poll that finds he receives his lowest job ratings on inflation, net negative 38 points.
We understand that there are challenges that are in front of us here in this country. That is why the president has taken action to lower costs.
Have the president's economic advisors told him that the general consensus now is that the American Rescue Plan has contributed to inflation?
Look, Secretary Yellen, who is incredibly well respected, as you know, in the economic space, has spoken to this. So I will leave her words speak to that, to the statement that you just made. Here's the thing. What the president has done, the issues that he has worked on, when you think about Medicare, we think about health care, you think about energy costs, you think about Inflation Reduction Act, you think about the CHIPS Act, they are popular. They are popular with the American people. They understand. The American people understand what these pieces of legislation that we have worked so hard to get across the line, that are now law, is going to change the lives of American people.
Hello, is this Karen in the inflation department? I just want to know, do you know what Joe thinks about inflation? And this many people approve of him. His wife. We don't even know about that. 1 centimeter of the country approved.
It's incredibly popular. It's popular. Yes, costs are going up. It's popular, though.
Is it
How much-
higher cost inflation?
They're gonna keep on spinning. Facts don't matter. Facts don't matter. Okay, Peter's telling me no. The book is called Google Acapello, and he's gonna.
You shouldn't have told her that. She would have spent all night googling it.
You might have been Googling for days. Digital gulag and the simulation of freedom begins with familiar cultural politics as points of entry to the book's theme regarding the reach, penetration, and soon the ubiquity of the digital world. Peter, it sounds like a good book. I really miss. I'll have to circle back to that. Chris, right? I mean, it was better off when she didn't answer the questions, although she's not answering them now. Cynthia, cheery hello to you both. When do we get out of the Twilight Zone?
See, everyone has typo. I was trying to figure out what a cherry hello was. Did she move somewhere to a cherry farm?
The thing is I can translate right in my brain. I'm not good. What Joe thinks about inflation is that he can't afford to talk about it. Very good, Elizabeth. She gets about Jennifer. Where were you on that?
I was calling Karen an inflation.
Hi, ladies. You look fabulous. Thank you, Gloria. Oh my God. Calling Karen an inflation. The inflation department. It's remarkable to me that people are buying this shit or that they think people are buying this shit. How many times was she going to say, oh no, it's very popular. We know costs are up, but it's very popular. Joe is popular. All these things that we're spending money on is very popular. So why are your approval ratings in the toilet? No sense. But I thought there are some incredible clips coming up, but I wanted to start our night with one commercial for an insurance company that I think captures maybe just the sheep of today. Here we go.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do.
This was a good idea. Shh, I'm being quiet. Breathing on me.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
The running cargo was the Republican. Sorry, Anita.
What are you, crazy? Why would you get in the running car? But
because it's not electric. I hate this country.
What was I thinking? Oh my God, I can't. Hyenas.
That's what my mother sounds like right now. I thought she was making fun of you.
Well, you make me laugh. What can I tell you? But if that doesn't just encapsulate, what is going on right now? Bad decisions, bad choices. But at any rate, they're trying to sell us everything, right? They're trying to sell us that the climate change. They've got people so hysterical about what is going on right now that we're not thinking straight.
They're worried about polar bears, worried about the people.
This next clip is from two young women who went to London's National Gallery to protest climate change. After they protested, they glued themselves to the wall. Watch this. Oh, and by the way, they were arrested and taken away.
War! Security.
What is worth more, art or life? Is it worth more than food? Worth more than justice? Are you more concerned about the protection of a painting or the protection of our planet and people? The cost of living crisis is part of the cost of oil crisis. Fuel is unaffordable to millions of cold, hungry families. They can't even afford to heat a tin of soup.
Those who are talking in the room,
Meanwhile,
please.
crops are failing. Millions of people are dying in monsoons, wildfires, and severe drought. We cannot afford new oil and gas. It is going to take everything we know and love.
Well, guess who made your shirt? A 5-year-old in Cambodia. And then you could send those security guards to protect the people of New York City because we need them.
Well, they didn't do a good job. You know what I don't understand, Jen?
I'd hate to break up with one of those two. What would happen to you? Your balls would be glued to your legs.
Why in the world would they unglue them? They super glued themselves to the wall.
I want to know how they got them
left
off.
them there.
How did they get them off?
I would have left them there. I would have left them there for a week.
That's art.
Go. Harris is giving $90 million to help at-risk kids in Jamaica. Dear spell check, Aida Harris. Oh, okay. I was wondering what you were talking
No one
about.
worry about your spelling. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Well, at any rate, so they throw a can of soup on Van Gogh's sunflowers and super glue themselves to the wall. And they're, what is their what's the justice there? Nothing. They got it. They didn't even get a slap on the hand. They said that the world famous painting is okay because it was behind glass. The wall was a bit damaged because all their skin was left behind. But me, that's the kind of mother I am. I would have just left them glued to the wall for a week and see what they think about that. I hope they have to pay for the restoration. I doubt it. And even if they did, it would be their parents that have to pay for the restoration, Elizabeth, so whatever. But this is the the level of hysteria we have. I mean, these girls are barely teenagers, and the National Gallery of London, where so many of the world's greatest works of art are on display. They walk right in, and
this is the level of hysteria.
Well, what kind of parents do these jerks have? Well, that's the whole thing. We have now been subjected to a barrage of lies and perversions of truth that we believe that we're in imminent danger, and these children believe that we're in an imminent danger. And guess what? Nobody's happy, not even with the libs that have started this hysteria. I've got a couple of clips about AOC. She held some town halls around New York, and some of her people aren't so happy with her. Watch this.
You're voting to start a thermonuclear war with Russia and China. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens?
You have done nothing. Tulsi Gabbard has shown guts where you've shown cowardice. I believed in you, and you became the very thing you sought to fight against.
I'll get to the issue last. I will get to the issue.
Why not right now?
Because you are being rude to everyone around you.
But you'll get to it. I'll still appease you, Mr. Rudeman.
You're being rude.
I need to wait till the end so someone could write my speech that I'm going to give you.
In China, if your relative has done something bad, so bad, and you are sentenced to death, the family is sent a bill for the bullet. Well,
Listen,
you know what?
in Iraq, is it Iraq? It's Iraq. In Iraq, if you cheat on your husband or you get caught having sex, not being married, you get beheaded, and then they put your head on the post of your parents' fence in front of the
Yes.
house.
Well, that's women. Women have no rights.
I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But these are
That's
the
the level of
countries.
punishments.
These are the countries that the left is holding up as, okay, these are great countries. Let's get oil from them. Let's negotiate with them. There are no rights for women. There's no, if you're gay, you're killed. I mean, it's hypocrisy at its worst level. But the interesting thing is this guy was pissed off because she voted to send Ukraine munitions and support in their war. So that was an interesting situation. I have to give her credit. She had more people there than Biden or Harris ever had in their audience. Well, one of the people that she had at her Queen's town hall was, well, this one is amazing. She's a climate activist and she has a solution to the world's problems. And is all I'm going to tell you. I'll give you a hint of what it is. The abortion people will be happy for it. Watch this one. You are not going to believe this. I found this little gem on C-SPAN.
But we're not going to be here for much long because of the climate crisis. We only have a few months left. I love that you support the Green Deal, but it's not getting rid of fossil fuel. It's not going to solve the problem fast enough. A Swedish professor saying, we can eat dead people, but that's not fast enough. So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you're a pollutant. Too much CO2. We have to start now, please. You are so great. I'm so happy that you're really supporting the Green Deal, but it's not enough. Even if we would bomb Russia, we still have too many people, too much pollution. So we have to get rid of the babies. That's a big problem. Just stopping having babies is not enough. We need to eat the babies, and this is very serious. Please give a response.
Thank you. We'll go ahead. Okay. No, we'll go ahead. It's so no. Yeah, no. Thank you. So I think So one of the things that's very important to us is that we need to treat the climate crisis with the urgency that it does present. Luckily, we have more than a few months.
See what happens? AOC didn't have an abortion and she had a child. And that's her. And that's her child.
She wants to eat the babies. She wants the solution to the crisis.
This is what happens when you put up shoot up galleries all over New York City. This is it. They come to town hall meetings.
We need to eat the children. She wants to eat the baby.
Well, she's hungry because of inflation, so I don't know what to tell you. This country's going to shit.
I mean, are you
kidding me? Circle of life. There's issues, and then it circles back around to eating babies. I don't know what you want.
It circles back around to eating babies. This is the insanity level that we're getting to.
She wasn't scared of that, but she was scared of being in another building during January 6th.
Did you see her face while the girl is saying, we have to eat the baby?
Sympathetic.
She's very sympathetic. She had that sympathetic. Yes, we'll eat the babies. Okay, but it's not that dire that we have to start eating babies today. I mean, what was going through her head? Could you imagine? What do you think that she was thinking? Is this woman eating babies? I mean,
now she knows how the right feels listening to their bullshit every day. We look like that on a daily basis.
Well, Chris says I could still make a comment, but I will go with many do eat babies if they swallow. I don't know, Chris. Meh. Anyone see the Newsweek article?
We know I haven't.
I mean, with relation to, you have to be a little bit fact check nuclear war. Okay. We'll have to fact check nuclear war. Well, who's fact checking the fact checkers? That's the problem with fact checking. I mean, I posted on my Facebook that the what was it? The Inflation Relief Act was fact checked by PolitiFact, and it said that Biden's comment that it created millions of jobs was mostly untrue.
I just looked it up.
Okay,
It
go ahead.
you have to eat the babies.
Oh no, come on.
I fact checked nuclear war.
Okay.
I'm kidding. It was a joke. He said.
Sorry, I couldn't catch up. I was reading. Peter says solve climate change. Okay. All right, Peter, you gotta give me more, Peter. You gotta give me more than that. So fact check nuclear war. And what comes up? Eat the babies. Listen, it's all I know is that we've come to a new level of hysteria.
The dingo ate the baby.
That's it. Since I saw that clip, I've been running around the house all day saying, the dingo ate your baby.
It sounds. No!
I know he's here somewhere. Ellen, have you seen my fiancé? He's upstairs. Are you going upstairs? Tell my fiancé I'm looking for him. I have lost my fiancé, the poor baby.
Maybe the dingo ate your baby.
No, if somebody had a sense of humor in that town hall meeting, that's how the show would have ended.
Well, I looked everywhere and it didn't say, the fact checkers did not say that she was a put on or a plant or anything else. She was dead serious. She had a shirt made that said to eat the children.
Not feed the children.
Right, eat the children. So the abortion question is now off the table. It doesn't matter. Have the babies so she can eat them.
Thanks to inflation.
Yeah,
this is all the president's fault.
We've all been reduced to guppies. I mean, we are now guppies. We're going to eat our babies. Okay. Well, I mean, listen, stranger things have happened. I mean, and they're happening constantly. One of the strange things that happened is that in Pennsylvania, the lieutenant governor, who was the mayor of a small town, is running for Senate against Mehmet Oz. And at any rate, he had his first interview since he had a stroke, and they accommodated him.
He had a stroke?
He had a stroke. He claims that the reason he can't string a sentence together is that he had a stroke. And now he has an impairment in his brain, and he has to read. He can read and understand, but hearing and understanding, audible situations.
So now he has to wear an earpiece so that they can feed him information, correct?
Well, no, actually, watch the setup. But here's the interesting thing. An NBC reporter got the interview with him since, the first one since he had a stroke. And she asked him questions about his health because people want to know. And she got lambasted for asking him these questions. This is just a little clip of the interview.
Let's start with how we're set up here. This is very different than the last time we were here in your home and talking. Walk me through why we need the closed captioning, how it works.
Yeah, it's really just how things happen, because I sometimes will hear things in a way that's not perfectly clear. So I use captioning. So I'm able to see what you're saying in captioning, and I'm able to respond with the question.
And that's the auditory processing.
Yeah, that auditory processing where I'll hear someone speaking, but sometimes I'll be able to be precise on what exactly that they're saying. I use captioning.
So you can make sure that you know exactly what I'm asking you.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're being said to make sure that I'm able to give the perfect answer.
Will this impact how you do your job if elected? For example, will you need potentially accommodations like this on the Senate floor?
I don't think it's going to have an impact. I feel like I'm going to get better and better every day. And by January, I'm going to be, much better. And Dr. Oz is still going to be a fraud.
Can voters trust that you will be able to do this job on day one?
Yeah, of course. I think that the campaign itself is incredibly difficult, and even with or without having the stroke is an issue. But I've been able to run a successful campaign despite having the issues with auditory processing, etc. So I believe I'm going to be able to serve effectively.
That's his teleprompter. That's what's on the bottom.
That's what he's reading off.
He's going to get that much better. He was reading the questions, and then when he was about to answer, he was reading what to say. So
absolutely, the perfect answers. That's what I thought too. Newsweek, Tech and Science fact check: Would nuclear war solve climate change? By Ed Brown on 1010. Okay, well, would it? What's he say? I thought that going back to the town hall with the baby and the climate change crazy activist, in that commentary, she says, bombing Russia won't kill enough people to solve climate change. That's what she said, in her hysteria. But, great, you're going to bomb Russia, but that's not going to kill enough people to, solve climate change. I mean, she was accusing everybody of off-gassing and killing her. She was in a state of hysteria. It's crazy stuff. And this is the future generation. This is who's running our country. Is this the best America?
He's been watching you while you're in the home.
Yeah, confined to run the car. I don't know that we'll be in the home. They're talking about eating babies. They were talking about, euthanizing people over 80. Yeah, because after 80, you're not contributing to society.
Like our president. Am I right?
That might be the single one reason why people support euthanizing people. Maybe that's why they made him president, so that they could get us all to agree to the euthanization of people over a
Nancy Pelosi, they'll all be euthanized. The circle of life.
So people like AOC can take over. And Fetterman. I mean, so you heard the questions that the reporter asked. Would you have asked those questions, Jen? Is there something wrong with those questions?
I don't understand the question. I had a stroke.
Well, she was accused of being insensitive. She was
no, I wouldn't. I thought there was like an underlying message in her questions. No, I would have asked the exact same questions. But I would have also asked him, what hospital were you in? When did it happen? What were you doing? Really fast so that whoever's typing on the other end
couldn't keep up. Oh my God, Gloria, we better watch what we order in Chinese takeout.
There's no more cats. It's just eating up body parts.
That's the first that I'm hearing that there was any issue with him. PA must be paying the press off. Second Democrat fact I have never heard about. P.S. Many that I asked had no idea who the lieutenant governor was. Oh, yeah.
They don't want him to have a debate with Oz. Right. So if Oz asks him for a debate, he's insensitive.
That's right.
Well, now he
But
can't.
Oz is going to debate him on the 20. They're going to debate
Oh,
on
yeah.
the 25th after the absentee ballots went out. Soylent Green, excellent, Margie. Soylent Green is a movie. I think it's a book as well about people where they actually eat the old people. So it's life imitating fiction. It's really, really crazy stuff. But and to go back to Chris's comments about Fetterman, Fetterman was the mayor of Bradcock, and he rose to become lieutenant governor. And what?
He was a mayor?
Mayor. He was a mayor of, and the next clip I show you, here's the interesting thing. The press has been trying to cover up the fact that he is incompetent and inarticulate. And now, of course, the stroke has become, now he's disabled because of the stroke.
All
And
his
if
brilliance away.
say anything negative about him, then you are going after people with disabilities. But let me show you this clip from 2013 about Mayor Fetterman of Bradford.
Before the stroke, pre-stroke Fetterman.
Pre-stroke. And there's plenty out there about him, but watch this one.
Yeah, new at 6 tonight, the mayor of Braddock admits to pulling a shotgun after chasing a man he suspected of firing a gun near his home. And it turns out that man was just an innocent jogger. Good evening, everybody. I'm Wendy Bell.
And I'm Mike Clark. Tonight, the big question is the mayor being given special treatment? Only on 4 tonight, reporter Bob Mayo digs into the controversy.
It happened just down the road by Braddock Mayor Fetterman's home when he heard what he thought was assault rifle gunfire. He chased a man that he thought was responsible, then pulled a shotgun to confront him until police arrived.
With my son, my 4-year-old son, and I heard approximately a dozen or more what clearly sounded like assault rifle gunshots go off.
Mayor John Fetterman says he rushed his son inside, called 911, and took off in his truck after a masked man in black he saw running. But Chris Mayeras, the man Fetterman confronted, turns out to be an innocent jogger who police say had no weapon.
There wasn't any assault rifle shots. It was bottle rockets behind the library.
Mayor Fetterman did have a weapon.
A 20 gauge shotgun under the back seat of my truck, which I pulled out and I showed to just say, look, we're going to wait here and we're going to get this all sorted out when the police arrive.
Mayeras and the mayor tell very different stories. He says Fetterman
followed me into North Braddock and pulled a shotgun and aimed it at my chest.
Did you point the shotgun at him?
No, I did not. I pointed it, away so that he would see that I was armed, but I did not point it at him. In fact, I didn't even have a round chambered or remove the safety at that point.
For both men, it was frightening. North Braddock's police chief says his officers tell him the shotgun incident was over when they arrived. Mayeras says that's not true. The police tried to laugh it off.
I mean, there's a mayor with a shotgun and 6 other cops surrounded me. What else can I do but this?
I believe I did the right thing, but I may have broken the law during the course of it. And, I'm certainly not above the law if I did. But what I did in a split second out of concern as the father and the mayor.
He's trying to make it like it's okay. He's trying to justify what he did. I mean, you're the mayor of Braddock in North Braddock with a shotgun.
After meeting with both men, North Braddock's chief is advising Mayeras to bring his concerns to county authorities.
So he had a stroke in 2013.
No, no, he didn't have a stroke.
I'm kidding.
I know.
Maybe I'm not that funny.
You are, but yeah, so clearly he speaks the same before the stroke as he did after. And there's about 1,000 interviews out there where you could see that. But let's take this in context. In February of 2012, Trayvon Martin was shot to death for, he was a kid in Florida for being in the wrong neighborhood and having a hoodie. And, and everybody's like, speak his name and whatever else. A couple months later in 2013, Fetterman goes after a black guy in a mask who he said had an assault rifle, and the guy was just jogging, and nobody is talking about that, right? And then on top of it, he's the mayor of the town. He calls 911, so his officers, his police officers come, and they tell the guy to take it up with the county officials. And the guy never does take it up with the county officials.
That guy should really teach him a lesson and run against them for anything he runs.
but so we're going after the NBC reporter for talking about his needing special services in order to have a simple interview. But this guy had a shotgun and took off and pointed it at he says he didn't, but this guy did. He says, okay, yeah, I had the shotgun, but I didn't point it at him. Oh, really? So why'd you have the shotgun if you didn't point it at him? Number one. Number two is the guy was jogging. And he was a black guy with a mask on in the cold, and you point a shotgun at him, but nobody's talking about that. Now, how many times have we heard the name Trayvon Martin, and countless others? But do we hear anything about Fetterman going after this African-American man with a shotgun?
Because Oz is a fraud.
But Oz is a fraud. Oz is a fraud. Your grandmother says you have the best.
Thank you, enabler. I know.
And Lucille says Z.
Like you're falling asleep?
I'm trying to decide.
A lot of our viewers are, I know.
If we're putting her to sleep. I don't know.
But, or did you it was like a confifi move. She just hit the... She pulled the trunk. Lucille, are you awake?
Lucille, wake up!
Lucille,
type something.
Lucille.
Do you see her, Jen? Is she looking okay? So, Chris Cuddy, find out what's going on with that. Where was that? And how come the Oz campaign hasn't said anything? And how come
they can't say anything because he had a stroke? We've all had strokes sometimes.
But this is the guy who, is running for Senate and all the Democrats are behind, and they're telling us that he and Oz are neck and neck in the polls. So I don't know, but what happened between, what happened in the media now that is not investigative reporting, that is not being spoken about. The fact that was a scandal, that there was a cover-up, that that his police officers did not take the man's complaint and said, you got to go to the county. That would never be tolerated now. So just a few short years. Look at the difference that happens in a few short years. So it's 2013.
I would love, why can't we? He's a lieutenant governor now. They can't check his text records, see how he's texting, see how he's communicating with people.
Well, who would do
his medical records? I mean,
well,
that's now, so I know that's illegal, but.
Well, no, that raises a question, right? Because we demand the president of the United States show us their medical records.
Tax records, medical records.
Right. So are we going to get to that next? I mean, she couldn't even ask the question. Now, they made a special setup with the computer in order for him to do the interview. And then she was nailed to the wall because she had the nerve to ask him about his health, which is one of the number one questions that people have about whether or not, when anything goes wrong, it's because he had a stroke. So now to try and make everybody feel comfortable with him having had the stroke and knowing that he could do the job, she asked the questions, and she's the one that's a bad guy. His wife went on TV. She did all the news shows, bashing this poor woman for asking these questions. And all the news stations jumped on board. They went after one of their own.
Listen, you had a stroke. Why can't you tell them you want to have go up against him and have a debate? Stroke person to stroke person.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what they do on the 25th and how they're going to accommodate him, because that's going to be super, super interesting. I think that Oz is going to have no problem, and he'll let anything that they want to let go. He'll accept any terms. But so Fetterman, Mayor Braddock, They took him to make him lieutenant governor. It was a big joke. The governor took him to go buy a tie, and there's if you Google him, there's a whole bunch of video clips, and frankly, his speech was as disjointed then as it is now, stroke or no stroke. But so what else is happening in Pennsylvania? Well, in Philadelphia, last month, a group of kids ransacked a WaWa. And so now WaWa is closing down 2 of its stores in low-income areas in Philadelphia. Watch, this is the news story about the kids.
We're learning more about this scene that unfolded in a Mayfair WaWa last night. Police say about 100 juveniles were seen inside the store on Roosevelt Boulevard near Tyson after stealing stuff and breaking things and basically trashing the store there. Officers responded to that WaWa and dispersed the crowd. They say no arrests were made and no one was hurt. Their investigation is ongoing.
And no spam was taken because it's behind locked cases.
The spam was left.
Every time I walk into a store now and I see spam unlocked, I laugh. You must be in a very good neighborhood because the spam is not locked.
It's a low crime neighborhood.
These houses are going up in value, Chad. The spam is not locked up. We're going to buy property there.
The spam rating for your neighborhood.
Is spam locked up?
Well, so now those kids ransacked the WaWa, and now the WaWa is leaving. Same happened with Walgreens, right? Walgreens pulled out of, CVS's pulled out of certain neighborhoods. It's, this affection for the criminal and the disdain for the victim is creating a situation where people are we're supposed to be so concerned about
people. The criminal is the victim now.
Well, that's it. So we're supposed to have sympathy and empathy for people in low-income areas, which we do. I mean, this is why we work in charities. This is why we help. This is why we donate. This is what we do as communities. But now it seems like the woke groups don't want young people to have a criminal record. So they're just not arresting young people who do wrong. And what message is that sending to the young people? It's telling young people you could do anything you want. Nobody's going to hold you accountable, right? That's number one. But what happens is that the chain stores and the business people are going to say, well, if I can't be protected, I'm just going to close down my business in that neighborhood, because we still have the rights to do that, right? And so
really, hey, Joe, job interview. Did you ever rob our store? Because you look familiar, Joe. You ever rob us? Ever? Maybe once, twice. Listen, it doesn't matter what kind of record you have. No one's going to work, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. Hi, Goyles. Hi, John Curley.
Hi, John.
If anybody wants to read some good books, and I've had the pleasure of reading all of his books, including the ones that are just getting ready for publication. But I suggest that everybody get a copy of Bonds if you like mystery and crime novels. John Curley is excellent at writing this genre, and I have to tell you, the pages, John, I read some of what you sent me last night. I'll get to the rest of it tonight. It's been a long day with the show, but I am on top of it, and I will I'll let you know what I think tomorrow. But yeah, Bonds is a great book.
Nope. Can't talk about that. We almost got there.
Almost got there. Oh
I was just trying to see the psychology of how mad people would get. So the time it would take them to get pissed at me.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. All right, editing and media. All right, so the final.
I could be a Democrat too. See, didn't happen.
So our final video is it's just I'm just going to show you.
This guy was simply eating dinner, had his back to the door when the man came in and started stabbing him. Thankfully, he's still alive with us tonight, but this type of thing seems to be happening all over the place.
The young man that you see here with the backpack and the skateboard entering this Mar Vista Taco Bell is about to attack a customer. It was Monday, October 3rd, just before 7 p.m. along Venice Boulevard. The 20-something, short, thin, bald-headed man enters the fast food restaurant just like everybody else would, but then makes a beeline for an elderly customer.
82-year-old man just minding his own business, having dinner, when the suspect goes into the restaurant, goes straight up to the victim and stabs him in the neck and the shoulder and just takes off running. The way he was facing, he couldn't even see the suspect approach from behind.
You can see the victim's wheelchair next to the table. Police say the stabbing was unprovoked and the attacker left evidence behind.
He actually entered the business holding a skateboard, and he dropped the skateboard during the course of the stabbing, and he just left without the skateboard.
Detectives now are trying to lift prints from that red board.
The elderly victim is in stable condition tonight, but is recovering. No arrest has been made, though. In Mar Vista, I'm Rick Chambers.
Well, any grown man that rides a skateboard is a loser anyway, so I've always said it. You're looking for prints. You have him on camera. Everything about him is on camera. You're going to look for prints on his skateboard. He's been living in his mother's basement since 2001.
Margie, I was thinking Soylent Green right there. I mean, is that we have elderly people that are minding their own business that are being stabbed in restaurants. I mean,
look at the lieutenant of the captain or the chief of the fire department, the ambulance. I'm sorry, the EMT. My apologies. Yeah. I mean, just standing there minding her own business. But this is because we don't prosecute or take care of the people who have mental issues. We just let everybody out, let everybody go, and just pay attention to, bullshit.
It's horrible.
Everyone wants to ridicule each other for your political views, and you're a bad person because you believe in this. But no one, they don't take care of the real bad people, the people that are actually causing an issue. Not because they don't disagree with you, because they're actually killing people.
They're innocent people. So it's we're being kept in a state of panic and fear, and that's the thing that is so worrisome, is that the psychology now is to keep us fearful, and if we're fearful, we're going to look for somebody to solve our problems, and that goes back to the book that I told you about that I'm reading, Psychology to Tell.
I thought you were reading John Curley's book.
I'm reading that too. I can read 3 books all at the same time. Athena, gender call, wood pushes. That's what they called up in Canada. That's playing stalking now like a slingshot. I'm not sure, Athena, if that spell check is off a little bit or if I'm off a little bit, but maybe you could clarify for us. Was that guy on the ground placing an order?
Yes. There was no workers and it took too long, and now look, he got stabbed.
Oh my God. These cowardly young punks only attack the elderly. Well, that's the whole thing, is they're attacking the elderly. And now you got young ones saying that we have to eat babies to solve the climate change.
Well, if she would have eaten that baby, that wouldn't have happened.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe we do need to eat babies. Maybe we do, because that generation's fucked up. So maybe we I'm gonna get so shadow banned.
I mean, but think about where we are. There used to be an argument between pro-choice and pro-life. Now it's not pro-choice; it's pro-abortion. I mean, these people are playing this card as if they want to kill babies. This young girl wants to eat babies and bomb Russia so that we get rid of people, so that she doesn't have more CO2 and the carbon footprint is smaller. What is going on? This is insanity. The problem is we do need change in the legal system. Sadly, progressivism is not the answer. An essential component of progressivism is to elevate the perp over the victim.
And I've said that a million times, John. I said, like, the gun. You get caught with the gun, you go away for 3 years because you're not going to do it again. You might, but this is, you get caught with a gun, you're let out, and you can have pizza at night. There's no punishment for anything anymore. There's zero.
No, there is. No, there's punishment. There are people that are sitting in jail over January 6th still right now there, but it depends on who the people are and what the crime is. And if the crime is if it's a crime that gets you canceled, or if it's a crime that's acceptable by the woke, so that becomes a problem. Peter, I love this. Good argument for seniors who no longer have the ability to defend themselves. Gun control, carry weapons. You're absolutely right. You know what? And that's what more and more I would hope senior citizens will do, is apply for a carry permit in New York and big cities. And listen,
you're not even supposed to drive for like.
I'd rather that they have a gun than that. That's ridiculous.
Oh
and there's no parenting.
I'm
Lucille,
kidding.
you know the problem with the parents? The parents are all doing this all day. They're looking up their ex-boyfriends from high school, the mothers, looking up their ex-boyfriends from high school and hooking up with them virtually. They're burnt out from working 3 and 4 jobs.
I thought you were going to say from smoking weed all day since it's legal.
Or they're smoking weed, or they're getting drunk, or they're drinking wine. The pressures of society. It's the funniest thing to me, this whole green movement, right? They want electric cars, but they don't want to talk about, you've said it, Jen, how many times? What do we have to mine in order to make the battery?
China, the battery, the battery comes from China, where the conditions of the people that mine are disgraceful. Not only that, but it kills the ozone. But these people want these things, right? They want all the farm-fed foods and the fake hamburgers and the electric cars. Do you know how much that costs? But there's inflation. There's this much of it. There's a lot of it. How are we supposed to get that?
But the argument is supposed to get us closer to the environment, right? But they don't want us living in the woods.
As long as those scumbags are walking around the earth, the environment sucks. I don't care if the polar bears are on little pieces of ice now. As long as those people are in the world, what does our environment even matter?
Well, but their brains are now being drummed into their brains that we only have months to go. We only have months to live. It's crazy. At 70, I'm thinking of getting a gun permit and a gun. Gloria, that's why I'm in South Carolina. The first thing we did was get a gun. What happened to that guy?
I was wondering from the beginning of the show.
What's that?
Peter from last week.
Peter? What happened? Why didn't you get him to come on? Wait a minute. Hold on. Bob, are you saying that we're not interesting enough on our own? We needed Peter from last week? I guess your father's bored with us. Well, we've only got 2 minutes left, not even. Jen, do you have anything that you want to end the show with?
Let's see what he has to say.
Who the hell cares?
There you go.
Well, that's what we're getting to. Who the hell cares? I want to thank everybody for joining us again on this Tuesday, and thank you for finding us. We're continuing to be shadow banned, but we're going to find a way around it. We love you. Have fun.
There she's like Fetterman. We've been shadow banned. That's why nobody's here.
It's true. Oh, let me tell you something. I've been posting stuff on my Facebook all week long. 2,000, 3,000 interactions. I post the show, 43. Come on. That's shadow ban, Jen. I mean, every single time. I mean, thousands of interactions on everything else. 43 on the show. So, listen, it is what it is. It's
We
fine.
stood in double digits all night.
Yeah, we have.
There's 11 of you out there. 4 of them are immediate family, but it's okay.
And we're
Lucille fell asleep at her phone and typed confifi.
We put Lucille to sleep once. Daddy's so bored he's looking for a co-host. He wants Peter.
He wants to find our hater who threatened us last week. That's fine.
Maybe we could get Peter to play like who was it on the David Letterman show? The guy under the steps who used to complain. I know that was before your time. I'm sure Peter remembers. Actually,
he's probably watching us making voodoo dolls of us.
You know who he was, Jen? The mayor of Schitt's Creek.
Chris.
Yeah, he used to be the man under the steps. He was the angry man under the steps in the David Letterman show. It was a lot of fun back in the day. But anyway, okay, we managed to go over, even though I started saying goodnight 2 minutes ago. So good night, everybody.
Good night.